All right, guys, gonna give you some context on like what I want to do is I'm looking for a long or a big work area and also places for storage. So what I'm thinking about doing is gonna use a whole 4x8 sheet of MDF, and then I'll go into like why I'm using MDF. But anyways, it's gonna be 4x4 posts on the corners, then just 2x4s for the framing, MDF at the top. I'm gonna have also a bottom shelf too, and then halfway up, probably about 24 inches, I'm gonna have another mid shelf, but it's not gonna go all the way across. It's gonna go about halfway, about 2 feet, and then go across the long ways. And all it is for storage. So I'm gonna be able to put those yellow like Home Depot totes on the bottom if I can. I want to be able to put my little drill press underneath. Just have enough room to where I can start working on kind of like larger projects. Kind of like saving up my money right now to grab some supplies to make some carbon fiber parts, hopefully here in the future. Just kind of mess around anyways. I do need to find another area for my 3D printer. Don't have an area inside the house, so I'm thinking about making another external little table here in the corner, to where I can put it. That's why I bought the cover for it. Yeah, we'll see. I know I had some issues during the winter when I was trying to print that. I was having some bed adhesion issues. Here in the summer that it's 103 outside right now, which is actually not too bad. When it gets like 115, I'm gonna print to see how that happens and how that works. To see if you still get the edges curling up like the little elf shoes. It's really weird how they kind of pull up. But yeah, so let's get rid of all this stuff and let's get to work. All right. Guys, so now I am done with an official work table. It took me about a day and a half to get it done just because I had to get do other things. So maybe total 4 hours total it took me to get it done from start to finish. So yeah, so kind of let's go over the build on what I used. So I used 2x4x8s for the framing. Then I used 3/4 inch MDF on the top as my top countertop. And then on the very bottom, as the bottom shelf, I have 1/2 inch MDF, and then I use 1/2 inch MDF on my mid shelf there. Like I said, I have pretty much 3 spots. I have the bottom part where I can put totes. The middle part's gonna be for other storage items. So like right now on this shelf here, you can't see because I have the other part of that MDF in there, but I have a bunch of stuff that I use that are in like little totes. So all that I'm trying to condense into the one work area. So I don't have to like go over here, go over there. Everything is condensed in one area. Whether it's I'm working on like electrical wiring, I have a box for that. I have a box that has a bunch of little like nuts, screws, heat shrink, everything that's in that. So that's what that middle section is going to be. I already have my vacuum cleaner here, my drill press, which I had on kind of like my makeshift table there. As you can see, I have my 3D printer right here right now. This actually might go inside. There's a table inside the house that I might be able to use, so that actually might go inside because I'm trying to get it out of the elements. Which me cutting in here, it was on a table outside, so it got a bunch of dust on it. I blew it off, but yeah, I'm gonna probably have to go through it again just to make sure there's nothing that's on there. So I did 4x8, so I do the least amount of cutting. So didn't have to cut any of the MDFs except for the middle one, because I only used 2 feet of it. That's why you see there, that's the other 2 feet. And then on the corners on the very bottom sheet, just to slide in and fit around the post. That's it. So I like kind of like these, what these squares are for them. I used 3.5 inch. There you go. See if you can see it. I don't know if it's gonna focus, but screws to attach the framing to the post to each other, and then I use 1 5/8 inch for attaching the MDF to the actual frame itself. Super simple, super easy. Trying to think of anything else that you guys might want to know about. So let me kind of go over it. So I used 13, either 12 to 13 2x4x8s. I use, of course, this one's going to be 1 3/4 inch MDF, 2 1/2 inch MDF 4x8s, so full sheets, and then the 3.5 actually ran out of a box, so 2 boxes of this is what I used. 1 box of this, which I still have plenty of. I have these on casters, so they're easy to move. The table is super heavy, so I have it on casters. The casters I got from Amazon, they're rated to like 300 per caster, and they're a little locking one, so each corner has a locking caster in it. I ended up using lag screws, so if you can see that there. So I use lag screws and then 3/8 washers. There you go, right there. To kind of screw them to the bottom. The one thing I did mess up is when I was screwing, so I have my center post here, and then I have a board here, and then I overlap to another board where I was screwing my holes. You might want to pay attention where you're screwing your hose, because it depends on where your caster is going to line up. So all my casters kind of lined up a little bit different. They're still far enough to where I have room to where I can push them down with my foot and lock them and unlock them, but they just kind of sit a little bit different. What else? And so yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I used. Besides it being super hot out right now, it's 110 today. But anyways, total cost for the build was $258. Not bad for a 4x8 work area that has additional storage. Like I said, I have plenty of room. Let me kind of get you guys up. See what you guys think. Alright, so you can see that's my drill press. That's the bottom sheet. That's the other sheet that I had for my makeshift table. There's a middle sheet there. Like I said, I have a bunch of room, pretty much 8 feet that I can use for storage. I got that there sitting there for storage also. The bottom is big enough to fit totes. And then there you go. Yep. Alright guys, so that's my build on a simple MDF workbench that's actually movable, has additional storage. Ooh, that's kind of looking dark. There you go, that's a little bit better. So if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll get to you guys as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Bye.